Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Amazing podcast. I'm Twain Taylor, editor at Amazing, and we try to bring you some of the coolest vendors, innovators, and startups in the space of Kubernetes and cloud native. We hope you're enjoying these conversations. I want to remind you to go over to our website, amazic.com. That's amazic.com. And check out all of the different podcast interviews we've done in the past few years. We're also on YouTube, Spotify, and other places where you listen to podcasts, so you can catch us anywhere. I have with me today Raja Rahim. He's the co-founder and CTO at Beagle Security. That's Beagle as in the dog, Beagle Security. Raja, welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks
That's
for
a
having me on the call.
Yeah, that's a really cute name for a security company. How did you come up with the name?
It just like we what when we think of the name for a for the product, we thought of putting something not related to security and making it famous in the application security field. But when it comes after naming it, somebody mentioned like Beagle is a good sniffing dog, and the name matches very well with the concept of the product as well as Beagle do the uh, penetration testing or sniffing for the vulnerabilities.
Neat. Got it. Wow, really cool. So tell us about the backstory. What's your background? How did you get to starting Beagle?
Like yeah, I have been in the IT industry for more than 13 plus years with particular passion in the cybersecurity side. Uh, my journey has taken me through various roles, from being a hands-on penetration tester in the early stages of my career, and now being a co-founder at Beagle Security, leading projects at a vast open web application security projects, and then serving as a honorary commander at Kerala Police Cyberdown. I also had the privilege of contributing to Mozilla Foundation, where I have created some and then further fueling my passion for cybersecurity. And then the idea for Beagle Security comes from my experience as a penetration tester. I realized that penetration testing, while crucial, was often time consuming and required a high level of expertise. This led my co-founder Pradap and me to explore ways to automate and simplify the whole process, and we wanted to create a solution that would empower organization to proactively tackle application security threats without needing to be an expert themselves. That's how Beagle Security was born, and today we are on a mission to make AI-powered penetration testing uh, accessible for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, really interesting. Um, so penetration testing, like you said, it's been around for a long time, many years, decades, in fact, and it's not completely new, but it's very valuable, but the way it's done has been always changing. And for someone like you who started your career with testing, you've probably seen it all from the
Mhm.
early days to today where it is. Can you trace some of the history of penetration testing a bit and bring us to today where it's at? How has it evolved over the past few years and decades?
Like initially, white hat hacking or penetration testing is just a highly skilled or a passionate job for some of the hackers choose to do that for the companies. Like most of the case when they attacking or hacking attempts to the organizations increased, the companies or organizations try to find someone who can do that job or identify the vulnerabilities before hackers exploit them in any manner. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a highly skilled job. Like they need to be a highly professional in because that's kind of ethical hacking.
Mm,
And later on, moving many companies choose their own team internally to do this kind of penetration testing before every releases or releasing any product into the into the web. So later on, this as a penetration testing itself made a big job as of now. And later on, uh, with the revolution in AI, adversaries started using artificial intelligence and machine learning to attack the system. So now this is a need of the hour to make penetration testing or application security testing need to be in the same bandwidth or same area of attackers using AI. So um, the penetration tester also need to use AI or advanced technologies to do the testing as well.
mhm. Interesting. So from, an outside hacker to becoming a proper internal role to today, AI, you really gave us a good, crisp summary of the history of penetration testing. What would you say are some of the most widely used tools for penetration testing, whether that's open source or commercial?
Like there is there are a lot of tools which is commercially used, like rapid sevens and uh, the detectify kind of tools. But uh, for most cases, penetration testing is considered to be a manual job. It can be done with a single tool, because each like in the steps itself, from the information gathering and using that information to create attack vectors and try to attack the system, um, that itself need a wide variety of tools. Automating or using a single tool to do the penetration testing is not possible in the early stages. That's where we try to solve with Beagle Security with an intelligent tool that can identify and make decisions like a real hacker.
Got it. Got it. Wow. Interesting that you say it's primarily a manual job, which is definitely then not very scalable, and there are a lot of limitations around it. But the modern like software stack has become so complex and challenging that manual efforts really don't really go that far. And there's been especially shifts like shift left. There's been a change in just testing happening earlier in the development cycle. Could you talk a bit about shift left, this whole idea of testing earlier and how that impacts penetration testing?
Sure. Like currently, rapid release cycles are like it's nowadays all follow the rapid release cycles. Like and in that case, the shift left approach has a game changer in DevOps and DevSecOps areas. Like developers and security teams work hand in hand from the very beginning, almost like a tag team, and try to catch the problems early. Like if you find a vulnerability early, it's easier for them to fix it in the early stage of development life cycle. If it is at the end of the life cycle, the fixing cost will be very high. It has like the shift left has revolutionized DevOps by fundamentally changing the way we think about the security. It's no longer something that gets addressed at the end of the development life cycle. Instead, it's woven into the early stages of or each and every stage of the development. It's a mindset shift that I feel has led more secure software, faster development, and happier customers. To sum it up, like I believe shift left has transformed DevOps from an active or reactive approach to a proactive one, making security a core pillar of modern software development. It's about being ahead of the game changer, rather than scrambling to fix issues after that happens or after the fact.
Okay, okay, got it. When you say rapid release, how rapid are we talking about? Like, what do you see out there? What are some of the typical release cycles that you see for organizations?
Um, like it varies based on the organization to organization. Rapid release cycles certainly being a lot have a lot of benefits, like getting features and updates to the user very quickly. Our also that can also be a double-sided sword. The pressure of deliver quickly often leads to compromises in quality. When speed become the priority, there is a risk that corner might be cut, particularly in areas like testing and security. Managing the growing complexity of the code base, ensuring seamless integration and addressing security risks become even more challenging in the current fast-paced agile environments. Like most companies used to follow 15-day release cycle. Some of them follow weekly release cycles as well. And a time to release is a small feature or a bug fix normally hit in the production within 2 or 3 days. In our case, it's less than a week.
Right. All right. Wow. And there's this difference and nuance within the testing community as well. That's DAST versus SAST, or DAST versus SAST, dynamic versus static
That is.
application software testing. Can you explain for us a bit the differences between the two and why Beagle operates in the DAST space, and tell us about what is why DAST is really critical.
DAS sensors are like two sides of a same coin. When it comes to application security, both are crucial components of a well-rounded security strategy. SaaS is all about analyzing an application's code base or source code to catch vulnerabilities early in the development process itself. It's highly integrated with the development environment of or with the developer. It's highly efficient because it's allowed developers to identify and fix issues before they ever make it into the running application. However, SaaS has its own limitations. Like there are certain vulnerabilities that can only be detected when the application is running in its intended environment, and that's where DAS come into the picture. Dynamic application security testing focus on identifying vulnerabilities that are only apparent or appeared during the runtime of the application. It's particularly valuable because it tests the application its real world conditions, like simulating how an attacker might interact with it. Also, this make DAST a vital tool for detecting vulnerabilities that could be missed in the code base or missed during the SaaS testing. Like issues like complex integrations between different systems or data handling processes that can be tested during a SaaS testing or secure code review kind of things that happen automatically. While DAS can be time consuming due to the need for a live testing, like I mentioned, manual penetration testing can take up to 15 to 20 days, but dynamic application security testing is kind of automated tool which has its own limitations. It can be automated up to a limit because of the heterogeneous applications in the application space and the APIs which use different kind of tech stacks and everything. Like so especially for applications that handle sensitive data or have interactive dependencies, DAST is very essential. For organizations, like ideally for organizations that use DAST is that you should use DAST and SAS in conjunction. the combination provides a more comprehensive view of the application security posture, allowing teams to proactively address vulnerabilities at early stages of the development lifecycle. Together, also, they ensure that both the code and application environment is or application and its operating environments are secure.
All right, interesting. So we talked a bit about some of the ideas, the key ideas, and the landscape of penetration testing, security testing. Spoke about shift left, and we spoke about DAST and SAST. So that is this is, I think, a good point to segue to talk a bit about what you guys have built at Beagle. Could you tell us about Beagle, your approach to penetration testing, and what makes Beagle stand out in this space?
Sure. At Beagle Security, we understand the different teams within an organization, and each team in an organization have unique challenges and objectives. And a Beagle is designed to meet these specific needs effectively. Like for developers, it's all about building secure software quickly and efficiently. We provide continuous integration and continuous delivery pipeline integrations that seamlessly integrate security into their workflow from the start to ensuring that they can catch vulnerabilities easily without slowing down their development process. Like also, for security teams, on the other hand, are focused on managing the overall application security posture, especially in the large enterprises with a vast attack surface. It's crucial to correctly prioritize the testing schedule and stay ahead of the emerging threats. Our platform help the security team to just that by providing comprehensive scheduling and reporting options for proactively securing their applications. And for management team, the priority is reducing the risk and ensuring compliance and standards like PCI DSS, HIPAA, GDPR, and SOC 2 or ISO. We provide actionable insights that help them to make informed decisions about their organization's security posture. Whether it's understanding the results or reports or provide recent penetration tests or accessing the overall risk level or we offer the data and reports the team need to stay informed. And
Yeah.
then another key job to be done is providing recent penetration testing reports for customers and partner onboarding requirements. This ensures that organizations can confidentially demonstrate their security readiness, which is crucial for building trust with customers and complying with industry standards.
Mhm, mhm. Great. Yeah, that's a good introduction to what Beagle does. But I'd love to see it in action. Could you give us a little tour of what product Beagle
Sure,
looks
yeah,
like?
sure. I'll share my screen. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
This is the first dashboard when someone log into the Beagle Security. It's the home dashboard where we list all the vulnerabilities or all the applications which is tested under the platform in the specific account. Here is the most vulnerable application. Kind of if the account is holded by an organization which has multiple applications or multiple projects, which has multiple applications, we list all the applications vulnerabilities in a single dashboard. And also we list the application which has most vulnerability and most critical applications are listed here. And the catalog of vulnerabilities, like how many new vulnerabilities and not fixed and reopened and fixed vulnerabilities. And that catalog is listed here. And if any test in progress, that will be shown here. Also, least vulnerable application and all the latest reports will be listed here in this area. And all the scheduled tests will be listed here in this area. And moving forward, I can show the applications. Here is the list of application which is added for testing in the platform. And I'll choose this one for the test for the demo purpose. And this is the application dashboard uh, where we can show the vulnerabilities specifically to for that application, like and catalog of new and fixed and reopened vulnerabilities, also vulnerability classification in the criticality basis, like critical, medium, info, and high low vulnerabilities. Also we have a WASP top 10 indicators, which is WASP top 10 indicators in the case of web applications, and WASP top 10 API indicators in the case of API. And a graph will be here for the vulnerability fixing rate, and all the history of the tests are shown here, and also the schedules and test sessions are shown in this dashboard. And moving forward, this is the result dashboard where the detailed results are shown, and this explain each and every vulnerability in detail, and also provide the recommendations based on the tech stacks of there. Like in here you can see that, like uh, the vulnerabilities, after the description we have provide the step by step option to fix the issues. And also it's based on the tech stack, like this specific application is hosted in an Apache server. So these recommendations are also very specific to an Apache server, how to fix the issue. And you can download the reports from here. And this also, you can download PDF, JSON, CSV, and XML format. Also you can download specific compliance reports for HIPAA, GDPR, and PCI DSS. I'll show another a report that's downloaded already. This is a sample report, uh, which can be downloaded after the testing. It's almost similar to, or it's like a manual penetration testing report, which has document details, like when the test done, and when the test completed, and table of contents with all the vulnerabilities that we identified in the system. And introduction, executive summary for the management, and tabular summary, and OWASP top 10 summary as well. Also some application details regarding the applications, certificates, and domain. And this detailed technical summary, this specifically for the developers who need to fix this. And specific compliance reports, we will be having compliance mapping, which for the in case of GDPR compliance, the technical report will be mapped uh, with the controls. Like if the control is failed, it will be specified what issue made the compliance failed. Kind of details are provided here. And coming back to the reports, these reports can be shared with a password. If you need to share to someone for a one-time use, you can share it with the password. Also, and coming back to the applications, to add a new application, you just need to add it. It can be public or internal applications. We have an option to test internal application with a private tunnel. We'll be providing a tunneling option that will be connecting us back to the system, so that it can be tested in an internal network as well. So for the time being, I'm selecting public application, and here we can choose uh, a default project name and an application name, and also the URL. And uh, the domain verification is a mandatory process, which we can do by DNS verification or file verification process. As of now, it's already verified because it's the account I already had a domain added to this. And uh, here we will be listing all the subdomains or assets we could find in the find online. So the user can test which are the assets need to be added, or assets need to be considered during the test. And user input in the case if the user intended the testing to be in a gray box level, they can provide login credentials or upload a recorded login sequence. For that, we have a plugin available in Chrome store. So they can record the scenario and upload to our system. And also, if the system has a sign up URL, so that we can do the sign up and do the testing from our end itself, it can also be done. Also, it's support third party logins like Google authentication or Microsoft authentication kind of. And finally, we'll provide the list of IPs need to be whitelisted if the application is behind a firewall or intrusion detection system or IDS of IPS. We can provide we can whitelist these IPs if that need to be. Otherwise, our system will be hitting with a lot of requests that can be lead to false alarms.
Mhm.
And next, you can start the test, and uh, after starting the test, it will appear here in the system like this. And when the test is happening, we can see the progress, and uh, even if we can stop or pause the test from here itself. So it's
Mhm.
the test will takes some hours to 1 or 2 day based on the complexity of the application and how fast it can be responded. Like it depend on the response of the servers and and the uh, complexity of the application and how many user levels are there in the application. These are the criterias which depend the speed of the testing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, really interesting. Uh, Yeah, so all of this, it looks very simple, just a few steps and you have really good information on how secure your application is. And I think really good, really nice looking UI as well. You guys have built both within the web app and the
Yeah.
reports, really good UI and quite simplified, I think. And I think a lot of this used to be done manually by people, but I think what Beagle is doing is being able to just take all the required details and performs a lot of tests in the background programmatically, right?
Yeah, like it's kind of do it yourself kind of security. Like I mentioned, anyone without a security knowledge or who is not an expert in cybersecurity can do the test, even if it's a founder of the company or who's handling or managing the team. If they need a security report, they can just do the configuration and start the testing from their end. Rest assured, we will be doing the penetration testing from our end in the back end, like a third party or third person or a hacker doing the testing from their end and provide a report that can also be automated like a CI/CD pipeline. And once the testing run, we can send the report directly to the bug tracking tools or even send to a communication channel which developers are normally using. So without any delay, they can start fixing or they can engage with the report and try to close it very quickly. Like most of the cases, developers are resisting the issues and uh, like if they are able to identify or if they get actionable insight on how to fix the issues, they'll be ready to fix that issues very quickly. So the time to fix will be very less in our case of integrations.
Mhm. And how have you guys, have you at all leveraged AI within the product?
Uh, yes, like from the early stages of itself, like we use AI and ML extensively, even before the AI hype cycle as of now. But when we started in 2020, we built the engine completely based out of the AI system, because to make a manual penetration testing completely automated with an intelligent feedback or intelligent things or intelligent decision making happening in the backend, we need AI and ML in the backend. From the initial stage, we started using AI to intelligent test case selection, and like I mentioned, we do heterogeneous application automation that we achieved through the image processing of the web pages. Like we spin up the web pages in a in a browser and identify the entry points in the like a hacker do, and decide the attack vectors based on the entry points and the application architecture or applications um, like components. If it's built on an Angular, the decision will be based on the tech stack. And also in the backend application, if it's a if we could identify the components, like if it's an database instancy, or it uses multiple databases, the test cases will be selected on based on the data we get, or the system analyzes the details and decide the test cases and decide the payloads. It can generate the payloads on the go, and everything happens with the use of AI in and ML in the backend. And also we use collective intelligence kind of things, like if we have details from the backend, like if a dark web monitoring system uh, bought you some credentials which is leaked for this specific system, and we will be using that credentials in the testing in the early stage in the coming stages, so that we can make sure that the details that we get, or the details that we get from the internet, or with the other feeds, we can make use of that details in the testing and make sure each and every vulnerabilities are addressed or identified during the penetration test. And finally, the AI is used extensively in reducing the false positive in the reports, and based on the reports and feedbacks from the system, or feedback from the customers, the machine, or the application decide and decide and reduce the false positive on the go. And finally, for the report, it is highly tailored for the customer needs. Like it's customized report, kind of like it's depend on the tech stacks of the application. The mitigation plan is provided based on the identified tech stacks. These are achieved with the LLM models that we built and trained with the extensive cybersecurity, or application security information with the system. And we achieved this with around kind of kind of millions of tests that we do in the system, and it's a supervised learning systems, so that it can improve itself on the go, and um identify or decide the test cases, or the payloads on the go with this supervised learning system.
All right, all right. Wow, really interesting. Uh, yeah. Well, last question for you, Raja, is as you look ahead in the next 1 year or so, what do you see coming up for Beagle? What are some of the new innovations that you're working on? Broadly speaking, what to get listeners and viewers kind of excited about checking out Beagle in the coming months. What's happening?
Sure. Like currently we are working on the API discovery side of it. Like currently we have API integration that with the that work with Postman so that we can collect Postman indications directly and do the penetration testing of the APIs without much intervention from the customer side. And we have API upload options. Other than that, we are building an identifier or discovery platform, which they can indicate it with their Kubernetes cluster or their Istio proxy, so that we can identify or detect the credential, detect the APIs from their cluster itself, and make it listed for them to do the penetration testing. And also they could configure it in a better way so that connected APIs and connected attack vectors can be created and tested. So that it will be a more comprehensive API security testing platform in the coming years. And also we are working with a collective intelligence system that where we can get the feedback from a SaaS system. Like even though which work in a separate environment, if we get a SaaS result or a feed from a SaaS environment, we can identify the specific vulnerability in the real world environments. Like if the SaaS, most of the case SaaS SaaS issues will be a lot, and most of them will be false positive. And in our case, we can do the do the test in a dash environment with this SaaS results, or we could make use of the leaked credentials or application logs, if that can be connected. And with all this, we call it as a collective intelligence for penetration testing, and we make use of that intelligence during the penetration testing. So the power of the penetration testing tool will be high compared to a manual penetration testing. For a manual penetration testing, that won't be possible to analyze a large chunk of log or a complete SaaS tool to make decisions during a penetration testing. But a engine or AI engine can do that. So we intend to improve the quality of the penetration testing and the provide a complete risk score for the customer based on the inputs they can provide to our system.
Oh, great. Wow. Sounds exciting. It was great chatting with you, Raja. Thanks so much for joining us and sharing all of these details about Beagle, the product you're building, and just about the space and how it's changing. Quite exciting, all that's happening, especially the use of AI within the product was quite fascinating. That you guys started back in 2020 itself. That's quite a long time back. It was wonderful chatting with you. Before you go, though, question for you to kind of get to know you a bit. What would you say you would be doing if not for your job in tech? What would be your other career?
Actually, I'm not a computer science graduate. I'm a electrical graduate from CUSAT. So if I'm not here in cybersecurity area, I'll be doing some electrical things, maybe an electrical engineer.
All right, all right. Wow, interesting. Do you still keep in touch with those things? Do you still build anything?
Nothing specific, like we don't get enough time, but we try to build our own things. Like when we have sometimes we try to uh, build rack for the servers, kind of. It's like do it yourself kind of things. Yeah, we
Oh,
used to do
neat.
that.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Wonderful chatting with you, Raja. Thanks so much for joining us. And to all of our listeners and viewers, thank you all as well for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this conversation. And if you think you can get more out of penetration testing, or even if you're not doing any penetration testing, but you want to start, Beagle, I think, is a smart way to do it. They avoid the manual grunt work, and they've really built a tool that can do a lot of penetration testing instead of hiring a big team just for that. So go and check them out. And with that, we wrap this episode up, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.